yet, but right? I mean, it's already going out there. It's all crazy sauce and junk. Let me get a sip of Perrier. I'll be right with you.
So have y'all had a good con so far? Like.
Yeah, it has been a blast. We met so many nice people, and I mean, the energy here is awesome today. So we're just like, Saturday's gonna be an amazing day already. It's shaping up really nicely. Who here has had a coffee? Does anyone drink coffee? All right, yes, good.
Red Bull.
He only drinks Red Bull, and he doesn't eat. Like, he hasn't eaten for the whole con. I mean, I think you did eat a sandwich last night. But, so if he gets a little strange, just start tossing jelly beans at him and see if he can catch them in his mouth.
I like jelly beans.
He'll do
Except
anything
the
for
black
jelly
ones.
beans.
I don't like the licorice ones. Those are gross.
All right, good. All right, Bowser, there we go.
My first question for you is, what were you doing before you got into voice acting?
Oh, boy.
Yeah, that one.
12 days after I graduated high school, I was in boot camp in the Navy in San Diego. So I went right into the Navy, and I did 6 years on submarines. Thank you.
Yeah.
I think that's the first time anybody's reacted like that. That's awesome. You're welcome. Yeah, that was Cold War submarines, man. Russia was like at us all the time. So I got out of the Navy. I should have stayed in, but I didn't. I could have retired Master Chief, but I didn't. And then I did a couple years with Honeywell. And then they dried up the money for the sonar support that I was doing. And I did really crappy jobs for a long time. I was insulation, landscape maintenance, pizza delivery. I was 13 years as a propane service tech for Suburban Propane.
Oh, nice.
That's right. I used to sell propane and propane accessories, I'll tell you what. Yeah, but it was for real for me, so, you know, it's a whole different side of the coin. It's not funny. And then I was actually still working for Suburban after I started voicing Bowser, because truthfully, video games don't pay that good. And I had never thought about a convention scene, believe it or not, until last year or the year before. I've been doing shows for less than a year.
Wow.
So here I am now.
Wow, yeah.
I started doing acting when I was probably in high school. I was super shy as a kid. And so as I started doing acting, I found, wow, if you give me a script, I'll be okay. And then when I got a little bit older, I was working in radio. Worked in radio. I did a lot of different commercials, just straight up commercials, you know, like for Nordstrom or for, you know, whatever, Amazon. And then I had an agent, and they sent this audition for Mario Kart for some of these characters, and I was like, I don't know this. I had never played the games before. And when I recorded the audition, we record our auditions in a studio, sent it, and they were like, yeah, we want you to do this. And so after I voiced it, and it was a match, I was like, wow, this is amazing. And I started playing the games and just loved it and started to fall in love with the characters. And I've just been passionate about the characters ever since. And then I got to meet the guys who voiced the characters, and that was fun. The first time I met Charles, I was like, wow, you know, he was in the break room, and they gave him really fancy food and stuff, and I was just drinking my water. I was like, Mr. Martinet, hi. I got my first selfie with him, and he's so tall, I'm standing on my toes, and it's been really fun to be a part of the whole Nintendo franchise with Mario.
Yeah, it probably would be a question that would be asked anyway, but because you touched on it, we rarely ever see each other as far as the recording world goes. The first time I met Charles was at the studio, but I was recording, I'm pretty sure that session was for Bowser's Inside Story, and I was coming out, and they have a lounge at the studio, and they're all like, yeah, as usual, help yourself to lounge snacks, you know. Charles comes in, and I was like, all right, it's Mario, cool. First time I met him, you know. Wow. And they brought him in sushi.
Yeah, he got sushi, and we were eating dry peanuts, you know, and like raisins from 1997, and we were like, he's important. So we love him though. He's a sweetheart, and now we've gotten to know each other better since we've been doing cons. This is only my second con,
Number
so
2.
Wow.
thank you for making it awesome. Yeah, thanks. I'm having so much fun. I was because I am kind of shy. I thought, you know, I don't know what it'll be like to go and, you know, you'll have to see people. It might be scary. And actually have just had so much fun and met so many friends. So it's actually been a great time. And now I get to hang out with these guys who are pretty silly. If you have not eaten dinner with Bowser, you know, you kind of need like a sneeze shield over you from the...
She makes it sound like I'm a pig. I'm not a pig. I'm a turtle guy.
A turtle guy, right.
So
Yeah. So anyway, thanks.
Aw, yeah. What made you start to dive into conventions, and why haven't you you know, dive in beforehand?
Yeah.
well, I was a closet narcissist. Now I'm more like a
He's full on now.
yeah. I'm so full of myself. It's insane. But last year, towards the beginning of 2018, I thought, well, I keep seeing all this stuff about Comic-Cons, and everybody's all goofy about, you know, Emerald City Comic-Con. I live in the Seattle area. And I was like, I haven't even gone to one. And then I was like, I wonder if somebody would want to see me. Never thought about it. Isn't that weird? So I started trying to book myself, and then I got hooked up with Celebworks, who books both of us now. And
Chris right there.
Yeah, there's Chris right there.
Hi, Chris.
He's our manager.
Yay.
And I was like, here I go. And now I'm already on I think this is number 8. So I'm on my way. Voice is holding up so far this weekend, so get me while I can still go.
Yay.
Thank you. What about you?
For me, well, okay, so like I said, I'm super shy, and I've got a lot of work that I do, other work, and Chris had called my manager, and he had said, you know, we could do cons. It would be really fun, and I just didn't answer the phone. I just would not take his call at all. Like, for how many times did you call, Chris? 3 or 4 times, and I was just like, I am so blowing this guy off, so I just never answered it. And then finally he got a hold of my husband, and my husband's a really nice guy, and these guys started talking, and my husband goes, he's a really nice guy, and you should talk to him. And this would be really fun. My husband had gone to Comic-Con and a couple other ones, and he's like, it's really fun, and the people are nice. And I was like, okay, if you're sure. And the first con I did, I was just looking at him like, really? This is great. Like, I love the cosplay so much. Hi,
Yeah,
Princess
cosplay's
Peach.
great.
I love it so much, and so now I'm just a total fan. But it took a long time, and thank you for being persistent. If he hadn't been persistent, I definitely wouldn't have known how cool it was. So I'm grateful. Yeah.
I just visored myself. There's a lot of people in here, and I got scared.
Oh.
You'll be all right.
There's why it looks like with the lights, it looks like there's 12 people, but
Yeah.
I'm all like, oh wait, it goes back a ways. All right.
So you've been, Kenny, you've been working with Nintendo since 2004, 2005, or, and Kelly, Samantha, you've been working with them since 2007. So, what sort of stars aligned that made it so Nintendo could keep you all to themselves?
To themselves?
Yeah.
They really don't have us to themselves, but I mean, it is what I'm known for. Everything else that I've done is small potatoes, you know. Do a commercial for Chili Cow ice cream, you know, for Spotify.
Nice, yeah.
I did a character for a mega church in one of the Carolinas. I can't remember if it was North or South, but this gigantic church. Hey, North Carolina. Oh. It's a big old church. It's like got 38,000 church members, over 8 locations. And they have a really big children's program. And I did a voice for Zingo the Dragon. He tells little Bible stories. They're real short little stories. And Zingo is a complete departure because
Zingo is like, hi kids, we're gonna talk about such and such today. La da dee da doo.
Oh, that's so nice.
yeah, I know, right? It's
You just
completely
love
different
him?
than. So everything else that I've done, nobody really has heard about.
Wow.
So sad, isn't it? But no, I'm not. There's no exclusivity.
Ah.
Nah.
Yeah, yeah, we can do other games, and we've done some other things, but this is our favorite, I would say, and obviously
Yeah, this is
the one that we play and we love. So
Yeah, it's really a surreal experience to think that I just got sent an audition for this icon character, and figured there was no way, because I had already done auditions for Sly Cooper 3. I did for 4 different characters and got shot down on all 4 of them. And then the next audition that came in was Bowser, and I was like, well, here goes number 5. And then I get an email that said, you got the job. And I was like, okie dokie, now what do I do?
yeah, it's a lot of pressure, like when they go, yeah, we like what you do, and everything in you kind of is like, well, am I going to be good enough? Am I going to have what it takes? And you don't know what the script is going to say until you get there. And so when you get the script, sometimes it is. It's the first time we've seen what they're going to do and how the game is going to go. And so it's really fun, but at the same time, just being able to come up with things on the spot, and some of it's a lot of improv, and that's fun too, but sometimes it's pressure, because you look at the faces and you're like, no, they didn't like that. Okay, let's try something else. You just keep going until you see their faces go, yeah, that was cute, that was good, and then that was a good one.
Yeah, it's a weird situation to be sitting you're in the room by yourself, and they're through the glass, and most of the time there's at least 3 people from Nintendo, and at least one of the sessions that I was at, it was for Odyssey, I found out that the laptop that was right next to the mic that I was standing at had the Japanese were watching me live.
Yeah. And I was
like
sweating.
4 o'clock in the morning in Tokyo,
They're up at 4, like
and
watching us.
they're sitting there going, all right, yeah, we're gonna watch Bowser and see if he messes this up. But you can sit there and you can, and there's a script, even for Bowser. I have pages of script.
Like, what does it just say? Blah.
It just has descriptions.
Oh,
short
okay.
jump, long jump.
Oh, okay.
Falling for a long time, falling into water, falling into lava. Yeah, that's okay. So you do something and you throw yourself into it, and you're all, and then you look up and you go, and they're sitting there going, all right, let's go. Let's move on. And you're like, and they weren't even talking about you, probably. They were
They were
probably
ordering lunch.
They're probably going, we got to get Charles sushi.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun.
It's true. That's one of the things we were talking about yesterday. We did a panel on voice acting. And one of the things that you have to have is really thick skin. That it has to be okay if somebody, who's listening to the game, their job is to get the best sounds for what they're trying to make. And if they didn't like that moment, then you just go, okay, what do you want to do next? And so that's been good. Because it helps in life too, like sometimes you need to just have thick skin.
Yeah, there's a lot of no's in acting in general.
But it's okay.
It's all right.
Yeah. What's one of the biggest challenges you've encountered in your career, and how did you overcome that?
I would say that it probably goes as far back as, for me, auditioning in general. It's tough for me. I don't like it. I don't think anybody likes it. But my first audition for a real thing was for a band. And it was a very, very popular cover band. I mean, these guys would do tours,
like who could you
as
imitate?
a cover band. They
Who
were
could
touring.
you do that, like, when you cover? Who would you be singing?
Oh, this was all rock stuff. This was mid to late 80s, so it was Guns N' Roses and Whitesnake and all that kind of stuff, which I can sing. But
Wow.
I'm not doing it today.
I did not know that.
But the audition that I went to was at their practice space, and they're like, all right, let's do Sweet Child of Mine. And I was all like, okay. And they handed me the lyrics because I was like, I don't really know what the actual words that good. I'm standing there, and you could hear the paper because I was shaking so bad. And then I completely stunk. It was horrible. But the band leader guy, Zane, really deep voice, this guy is like, he goes, go learn that song and come back in 2 days. And I was like, okay. And I went and I learned the song, and I got a little more comfortable with myself doing that song. And I went back in and I crushed it. He goes, if you want the job, it's yours. And I was like, all right. But I still haven't gotten, I mean, you would think, oh, okay, now I'm over auditioning. But no, I do a lot of auditions for theater and all that stuff. And you're just like, I suck. And then they're like, hey, you want this part? And I'm all like, okay.
For me, it was like, because people assume that if you can do acting that, you're going to want to do television or do TV commercials, and I've done a few, but I never like being on camera, and that's why I love video games, is because it's just so much more free and so much more comfortable. And what I found was anytime I did a TV audition or anything like that, they would assume, oh, you can do it, you can act, and my face is so big when I act, it's like, and nobody wants to see that. It's really frightening. My eyes get really big, and it's like, she looks angry. And so that always, I felt really judged, or like, just my face is not right for this. So to me, it's really fun to be behind the scenes so that you don't have to be seen. And I think that's what people always assume, that you could do the other thing, but it's like, nah, that's not my thing.
Yeah,
I like doing what we do very much.
There's physicality involved for certain. You throw yourself into it, even behind a microphone. It's like, okay, Bowser's gonna take his hat and he's gonna wing that hat, and I'm all like, and then I wasn't asking for anything, but you get into it. It's like Bowser's stomping around. It's like I'm doing this, and this is another thing that I have to do when I'm doing Bowser. I don't know why. So
if you get a selfie taken with this guy, he'll do that.
Yeah, I'm like,
yeah, it's fun.
I have to.
He can't help it.
It's just part of
now
Bowser.
His hands do that.
It's those fabulous claws that he has.
Yeah.
So all of us have nothing but love for the Mario franchise. It's been with us for years. What's something about the Mario series that you feel is a little underappreciated right now?
Underappreciated. I don't know, I think some of the ancillary characters that people they don't even think about them. Princess and Toad and Bowser and Bowser Jr. There's all kinds of other little critters in that world that I think that people they don't even think about them much. But I love them. I'll be playing, I'll be all like, oh, there's that little dude. But then I'm gonna, jump on his head. So, sorry, little dude.
Sorry, little dude.
That's the only thing I can think of.
I like them. I don't know. I think Nintendo's always creative at coming up with what's next, and it's fun. It's fun to see what they're gonna do next. So yeah.
I still haven't finished Odyssey.
You still what?
I haven't finished Odyssey.
You haven't? No.
No.
I'll tell you how it ends.
No.
I know.
Spoiler alert.
All right. Sorry.
Sometimes I don't know. I just
You
growl and
forgot,
roar and
right?
snarl, and I don't know what
Okay.
they're gonna do. So.
Samantha, if Princess Peach was a Disney princess, what princess would she be?
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
That's deep. Okay, I have a 7-year-old, so I love all the Disney princesses like so much, and I can quote all of them. And I was raised on them. I think Peach is her own princess, and yeah, she is. The thing I like about Peach, and we actually. We study the characters. It's like, what is this person? And to me, Peach is fearless, delightful, and that's something that, I don't know, it's her own thing. So yeah, she's her own girl. What about Bowser? What princess would you be, Bowser?
What Disney princess would Bowser be?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Nah.
Probably not a princess.
That's a really bad
maybe
visual. I think we'll let that go.
more like an evil queen, maybe.
Yeah.
There we go.
There you
Only
go.
I don't know about queen. That maybe doesn't fit. But yeah, there's no princess that Bowser could be.
No princess.
No. Like a pimp though, with that white tux. He's all pimp looking. That hat.
Dead silence.
Yeah, I wish I could do that cricket sound, but
Yeah.
I can't.
So if you didn't get the audition for Nintendo in some alternate universe, what would you be doing if you weren't voice acting at all?
I'd probably still be working at Suburban Propane, but because I was a really good service tech. So I'd probably still be doing that.
I've wanted to be a barista. I would say like making coffee would be the most fun thing ever because you get to talk to people and you get to smell all the coffee and stuff. Like this is.
But
Be quiet. This is my dream job. I think it would be really fun.
yeah, I would still be working on acting though, because I've done a lot of theater work. So I would still be trying to. I mean, I had thoughts about trying to get over to Seattle to actually become a professional theater actor, but
He's really good.
I just don't have the time.
Yeah, y'all. He actually is a really great actor, and he does
Thanks.
a lot of community theater, a lot of different projects. So if you saw him on stage, you'd be like, "Oh my goodness, he's got chops."
It's like, who is that guy? And normally my hair's shorter, so you wouldn't recognize me.
Yeah.
What's your favorite play that you've been in then?
My favorite show that I've been in, as far as fun, it was probably a show called Musical of Musicals, The Musical. And it parodies 4 different major musical writers' styles. It tells the same story 4 different ways. It's hilarious.
Wow.
A lot of singing and a lot of dancing, which I hate doing. I hate dancing. But that one was the most fun that way. The most challenging fun was One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. It was a big line load because I played R.P. McMurphy, so and to try not to do it like Jack Nicholson.
Wow.
I didn't want to look anything or sound anything like Nicholson because it's not right.
Right.
And the book is a little different than the movie was. So
Wow. I didn't know that.
that's
cool.
all I got on that.
That's cool.
That's it.
Oh, so
all I got to say.
after serving in the military, Bowser has a full arsenal of everything. What do you think about his military ineptness?
Yeah, he's got all those armaments and yet can't do a thing with them, can he? And yeah, I look at Bullet Bill to me as more like torpedoes. So it's like when that thing's flying around, I'm all like, Mark 48 ad cap. But now I'm really so cool because you can take them over and fly them around now. So even though I still hate Cappy. I hate Cappy.
Aww. What about Tiara?
No critter should be possessed without their permission, including Bowser. That's my stand.
Come on. All right.
What's your least favorite and most favorite critter in the Mario universe?
Critters?
Yeah.
Least favorite critter? I don't, going back into the past and stuff, it was probably those, I was very not good. Wow, I'm so articulate. But it was, I kept getting killed by the stupid piranha flowers. I'd be like, bonk. Why? And then, then I finally figured it out. But I'm a much better game player now. So, but favorite,
Yeah.
Yoshi.
Yeah.
I love Yoshi.
Yoshi.
I call him Yoshi Burger.
Yoshi.
And I love that the original music for that. I love that. Love that.
Oh, yeah. What about for you?
I don't know. I guess probably. I mean, I adore Yoshi, absolutely. So I don't have a least favorite critter.
Oh, okay.
I usually lose when I play, but I have a good time.
Okay, cool. So with that, we got about 30 minutes left. We wanted to do a longer Q&A. So where are my runners? Right? We have a mic stand right in the middle lane, right here.
Oh, I see it.
There we go.
These lights are really bright.
There we go.
Sure.
So, if you have a question, and I know you do, we're gonna have you line up right behind this mic
See that guy?
Oh, there we go. There's the
See,
second
like,
mic.
he's
We have the second
signaling with
mic.
his phone. That's
So we
really
have,
cool.
we have 2 mics right there. So just a few things. We want to get through everybody's question, so please limit your questions to 1 per person. No 2-part questions. If you have any gifts, if you want a hug or anything like that, they have signings.
Yeah, we'll be at our table
They'll be
all
at
day.
our table. It'll be
The
a
rest
lot
of the day,
more-
probably.
Yeah, it'll be a lot more personal. And so without further ado, we will start. Oh, we'll start in the center right here.
Mic test, mic test. All right. Kenny and Samantha, what are your opinions on Bowsette?
The official stance that comes out of my mouth immediately is I have no opinion of Bowsette.
Come on.
Nintendo has put a stand
Yeah,
on that, and
they're pretty
therefore
clear.
I don't talk
on that
about
one.
it, and I won't autograph things, fan art of Bowsette, things like that. I can't do it. So
Yeah.
that's my stand.
enough.
Personally, I don't care. You know.
I was wondering if there's ever going to be like a standalone Princess Peach game again. if it's possible.
I hope so. I don't know.
Yeah,
You never know, but I would love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know, it's
We usually don't know what's coming up until we get in there, and sometimes I don't even know what type of game I'm going to record for, whether it's a cart or an RPG. I have no idea. I'll walk in there and go, "What are we doing today?" So
yeah.
we don't
yeah.
know.
Yeah, but I hope
that would
so.
be cool, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bun. Good question.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. She is a great artist, by the way, you guys. She's really good. Hey.
Hello, hi there. So back when there was Mario versus Sonic, like in the 90s, when the Sega was coming out with their like Genesis, did Nintendo ever make you like make a diss towards Sonic that never got released? I mean, you don't have to answer, but I'm just curious if they did anything like towards against Sega.
No, I've never had anything to do with Sonic, and I mean that goes back before my time anyway.
It's before us,
That
yeah.
interaction, it was. I didn't start recording for him until 04 of 05. So, the closest thing I've had to dealing with Sonic was sitting at a panel with Mike Pollock. So, he's nuts. And he'll probably see this too. I'll be all like, Mike Pollock is nuts.
All right, thank you so much.
It's fun, though.
Thanks. Thank you.
What would you say is your favorite non-Nintendo project?
Boy, you got one?
I did, it was a series of kids' video games. It was called Backyard Sports, and I did the little sports
That's
announcer, Sunny
right.
Day. I did that for years. That was really fun. That would be my favorite.
That actually shocked me when you brought that up yesterday. I had
Did you
forgotten.
play that?
I had completely forgotten about that
It's
game
so
because
old
my
school.
kids used to
I know.
play it.
I know.
And I'd be all like, I can play this. I had no idea that I'd
Sunny
meet you
Day,
eventually.
that's right. What about you?
One of my favorite-y things that I've done, this one is, I mean, you said besides this, but I like everything that I do, truthfully. It's always fun and it's always a challenge. So that's it, everything. Go ahead.
Thank you. Yeah.
I leave him going, what?
What? Okay.
All right, so this is for both of you. What is your favorite memory with the late Satoru Iwata?
Can you repeat the question?
What is your favorite memory with the late Satoru Iwata, the former president of Nintendo?
What is your favorite memory with the president of Nintendo? Is that?
We don't get to meet the president of Nintendo or anything
No,
like that. Yeah, we don't have any kind of.
No,
we're not that cool.
I've only
Really.
met producers and directors. I haven't even met Bowser.
We're kind of like way down here, and these guys are way up there.
I keep thinking, hey, maybe Mr. Bowser will have Bowser over for lunch or something, but
That
yeah.
would be nice, huh? Not so far.
I'm not calling him out.
Yeah, thanks for even assuming we would, though. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's how cool you are.
Thank you.
Okay, so this is for Samantha, and I'd like for her to answer as Princess Peach. You've been getting kidnapped by Bowser for so many years. Do you ever get used to it?
I think I can't answer as Peach, but I don't know. I think it's, for me it is just a surprise when you get in and you see the script that Nintendo did. Those are the guys, the guys who wrote the script and who do all the animation and all of that stuff. There's so much genius going on, and I'm just along for the ride. So I can't even answer as the character because they tell me what she's gonna do. But I love to play it too. So yeah, thanks for asking.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
This question is for Kenny. I'm sure lots of us would like to know, where do we send in our application so we can join Bowser's Army?
Could you? I didn't get all of that.
Can you get a little closer to the mic?
Where do we send in our applications so we can join Bowser's Army?
It's Kenny James Bowser on Instagram. There you go. I need followers.
I think you just made the cut, dude. Awesome. Yeah.
Hey, Lord Bowser!
I'm a very lazy social media guy, so I'm trying to get better. But yeah, I mean, you would think I would have tens of thousands of followers, but I've got like 300. So.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
My question is, on average, how many times do you go in to record for new games each year?
Didn't get it.
Can you come a little closer to the microphone? Sorry.
How many times each year do you go in to record for new games, like on average?
I'm still lost.
I can't hear it. I'm so sorry. How many times in an audition?
No, how many times do you go into Nintendo to record for new games each year?
How many times do you record a year?
Yeah.
How many times do we go in? Sorry about that. I'm so sorry. It's so loud over there.
It's every bit as often as they tell us to.
It depends. Sometimes if they're doing a number of games, we'll go in quite a lot. And then there's long, dry spells for a year or 2 years where you don't hear from them at all, and you think, am I still in? And then you get the phone call that something else is coming up. So it's a good question. Yeah.
I've done sessions where I've recorded for 2 or 3 games at a time.
Yeah. And then, when we do it for a game, that was a question last night, was how long does it take to record for a game? And it just depends. Like, sometimes it'll be about 4 days, 2 days to 4 days, and then they listen and they run all the stuff by their friends in Japan and go, did you like it? And then we come back and we tweak anything that they think needs to be changed. So it could be a chunk of time and then a couple more days. So it's not a ton of days. Yeah, but
they try to get me done as quick as possible because it's strenuous.
It hurts your voice, right?
Yeah, so
Toad
usually
is like
usually
that
my
too.
session. You've said you've done 4-hour sessions.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, mine are always limited to 2.
Well, you just growl the whole time.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
It's a little painful after a while.
Yeah, thanks for doing it though. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you for the question.
What is your personal favorite game out of the Mario franchise, out of all of them?
For me, probably 3D World because of Meowser. That's my patented answer. I loved doing Meowser. It was challenging. I got to invent the sound, because I asked them, what do you want him to sound like? And they said, we don't know. So I got to just sort of make him up on the fly, combination of a Wildcat sound and Bowser at the same time. And that one tore me up good, but that was one of those. That's one of those sessions where you can sort of taste blood by the end of the 2 hours.
Ooh.
Yeah, this is what I do for you.
Aww. Nice.
Yeah, that's mine anyway.
I like Odyssey. I think it's just. I mean, I'm no good at it, but I
I'm not
love
either.
recording that was so fun, and there's so many fun scenes in there. So yeah, thanks for asking.
So mine's kind of similar, but which was your favorite Mario game to play?
Oh, to play. I like racing, so I like the Mario Kart games, And Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, those are my favorites.
Yeah, I really liked playing Odyssey, the first Odyssey. I tripped out on it. I was like, what? Because it actually was one of the earlier games that I recorded for. So I was very partial to that as far as playing. And then kart. I like driving. So
Yeah.
kart games.
All right. So we've seen sort of from Bowser, he sort of had a few different phases, I guess. Like he had a bit of a casino type phase during like the 3D World era. So what was your favorite phase for Bowser, I guess?
Hey, phase? A phase. I'm like, yeah, I mean, yeah, does he have phases, really? I mean, I like the phase he's in right now. He seems pretty glammed up. That's pretty cool. I do, I love the wedding suit. I love the wedding outfit.
The wedding suit is pretty cool.
Every time I see that, I got 5 different amiibos, and that's one of my favorites. But
Yeah.
so yeah, I like his style and phase right now. Is that good enough?
This is directed to the both of you. I'll be as careful as possible. Assuming you were given an opportunity to reprise your voices in a certain Illumination animation project starring Mario, would you be enthusiastic about the prospect of doing the job if you had the opportunity?
Yes!
That's all I want to hear.
Okay.
And you?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Hi.
If you were to have a superpower, what would it be?
Superpowers.
Superpower. Peach's superpower is love. What's your superpower?
Bowser, if Kenny could have a superpower, I'd probably want to fly. That would be sweet. I've had weird dreams where I was flying in a supermarket with killer whales.
This is getting weird.
Is that the weirdest thing
Can I be
ever?
in a different panel?
It was like we were swimming, but there was no water.
Too much Red Bull.
All right.
Said too much Red Bull.
All done.
That's
Thank
probably
you.
true.
Thank you so much. I love your hair. You're pretty.
This is for both of you. In the future, personally, what type of Mario game or like Mario character game would you like to see in the future?
Oh man, they surprise us all the time. And that's
Yeah.
the thing, it's like you think you can guess what it should be, and I don't even say it anymore because when we go, we're like, that's genius! You know, we didn't think of what they thought of. And I think it's just kind of a fun reveal when you go and you're like, really? That's what's next? I love it.
But what would I like to see?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, more games starring Bowser, I guess.
Bowser does musical theater.
Yeah, Bowser does
But no
theater,
dancing,
right?
yeah.
Bowser does theater, but no dancing, because I don't think he's all that graceful.
He's not real smooth.
Little stomping, little fireballs. We're good to go.
Thank you.
Hey, little man.
Can you give me a big howdy roar?
A what?
A roar?
A roar?
Roar.
Thank you.
I spit on myself.
He does. That's why he drinks a lot of Perrier over there. You ever think Bowser would drink Perrier?
Yeah.
Oh. Hi.
Hey, do you have any tips for someone like me who's had their heart set on voiceover from a very young age on how to get your foot in the door?
I can keep mine short. Do other acting. And listen to things and impersonate things, you know? Do imitations of things. Get comfortable with a lot of different things because you have sometimes no idea what they're gonna throw at you. And in the voiceover world, you can go in for one character and contracts will usually say that that includes up to 3 characters, it'll say in the fine print. So you could be there to record a specific character and then go, oh, hey, before you go, could you do this real quick, this is this guy and he's gonna say this. It's 2 lines, ready, go. And you gotta do something different. So you always be prepared, be on your feet, on your toes. But if you wanna be a voice actor, be an actor in general. I'm always pushing even community theater. It's volunteer work. Your town loves it. The theater goers are great. And you get your feet wet and you learn acting. And it's a great environment to do it in because there's not that much pressure. It's volunteer theater. But you get better and better as you do it. I've been doing theater for so many years now. I walk in, do an audition, and be all like, all right, I love the smell of the theater because I've been there so much. If I've been away for a while, I'll walk in and I'll be all like, the theater, smells great. What do you think?
I have 2 things. I think, and we were talking about this last night as well, is being open with what you do. Like if you are doing acting and things like that in different voices, do them in front of other people.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing, like when you're doing it all in your little closet or your room, but to do it where you're very comfortable to share that with others, because that's going to make you stronger when you do get an audition. And then also reading, just read a lot of things, because what we found is that sometimes they'll hand you a script when you go in, and sometimes you don't sound like you really mean it when you read it. And so practice reading things and sounding like you really mean it, very authentic, and that will help you when you eventually get in front of people.
I mean, more specifically, reading out loud.
Yeah, reading out loud.
Because, you could be handed something and it says, this
Sell it.
panel is live streamed. Please share this link with your social following so they can watch you live.
That's not good. Now
Well,
say it.
and if you do it like a normal person, you're like, this panel is live streamed. Please share this link with your social media or social following so they can watch you live. Sounds more like you're just talking to somebody.
Yeah.
Right? Just get used to it. Get used to everything.
I used to pretend when I was doing things that were kind of challenging I would pretend like there was a person and I was talking to them, and I would just try to tell it to them rather than read it. So, yeah. Good question. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hi.
This goes out to Bowser. Would you like to have your own personal game?
Would I like to have my own personal game?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I want my own personal movie. I want my own personal TV show. I want everything. But yeah, I would love to have my own personal game.
Thank you.
Would you like to play that game if there was a Bowser game?
Yeah.
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 Good job.
I've been asked that many times. Do you think they should make a game that's centered around Bowser? I'm like, sure.
Yes, please.
That'd be great. Bring it on.
Thank you. Good question. Thank you.
So a lot of the talking in Mario games is shorter voice lines, catchphrases, and noises, things like that. Does it ever feel weird to say longer sentences or fuller lines with your characters?
Yes.
Yeah.
It does, and it's fun because it challenges you as an actor, and when they give you longer stuff, because they just assume, hey, can you do that? And you're like, I've only ever done things that are this long. So yeah, it is doable, but it's a good challenge.
Yeah.
That's really a perceptive question.
They do keep my lines pretty short, because all he speaks anymore is Bowserese. There's no more the Super Mario Sunshine, days, which is what I thought I was going to be doing. I seriously thought they were looking to actually recast and stay that way. My auditions that they sent me was the reference tracks from Super Mario Sunshine. And so I thought that's what they wanted, that's what I gave them, and then I went in there and have only spoken 4 words in English since. And those were Bowsered up. I'd go, Mario, and they'd go, no, that's too Englishy. So, I have to change it to Mario. And see, that's what you're talking about with the face.
Yeah.
You can't
it's
be normal. You're
The other thing too is a lot of times these games are being sent to Japan as well, and so they kind of have held us back from speaking long phrases in English just because of that. But who knows what the future does.
I know, it's funny. You get a speech bubble this big, and it goes. Peach. Peach. Peach.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Hey.
Hi.
Hi.
Is this good enough? All right. So I have a question for both of you. If you could choose one area in the Mushroom Kingdom or the Mario universe as a whole, where would you want to live?
Where would you want to live in all of the Mushroom Kingdom?
Wow.
I like Bowser's Castle. Sorry.
Not me.
I loved it. It was dark and gloomy and scary looking, and I like it.
I don't know. That's a good question. I'll have to think about that. I'm sorry, I've never thought of it. That's adorable.
Over to you, Sam.
Yeah, I don't know. Thank you.
All right, I have a question for both of you. What's your opinion on the live-action Super Mario Brothers movie?
Well, you know, it's one of the things that you would think we know stuff. We don't
know nothing.
Anything. I still don't know anything except that what I read in the same places that you do on the interwebs. I know that there's a potential release date 2022. That's all I know.
And we're super excited too. Yeah.
Thank you.
I hope it's a great success. That's all I can say about it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm a teacher, so I talk 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, and I'm wondering what you guys do to recover your voices after a really long recording session.
It's great. Thank you for teaching too, by the way. Thank you very much. Yes. Yay, teachers. Yes. A lot of water. We drink tons of water. Lemons. Resting it, which is really hard to be quiet at the end of the day after you've been recording and you get home and your family is like, oh, hi. And you're just,
Yeah.
can't talk
I
to
want
you.
this.
I spent
want
it all.
that. Make me food. Blah blah blah.
Aw, what is your family like?
No, mine are all grown now. So
He's got a
it's
grown
like,
family. Yeah,
me, I'm more like get out of my house. So.
Oh.
But it was brought up yesterday. Vocal health and me don't get along. I am my voice's worst enemy. I do not take great care of my voice, but it's always been termed like indestructible or bulletproof. I'm sure that's going to come back to bite me one day. But what I do is I do stay hydrated. During a 2-hour session, I'll drink 6 bottles of water. And when I get home, I just try not to talk a lot.
Yeah, you just have to rest it.
Vocal rest for me is the biggest thing.
And I think technique too, you know, like making sure that you have air behind it. A lot of times not too, of course with Toad and Bowser, there's no choice, that's all throat, you know, you're gonna just slam the voice. But for normal speaking, just making sure it's really supported so you're not up in your voice but down in your belly.
Yeah. It's true, the whole thing about from the diaphragm. If you have good abdominal support, it actually puts less strain on your voice.
Yeah, and thanks again for teaching. Yay! Thank you. Okay. 10 minutes?
10 minutes. Okay. We're doing good then.
Yeah, you guys are doing great.
You're doing real great.
This is a question for Kenny, but have you ever had to speak in full sentences as Bowser?
No, not yet. We'll see. I mean, they were Bowserese. You know, they would actually have a cut scene, and they're like, he's going to be talking. It's obvious that he's talking. It'd be rough animation, and he's all, you know, lip flaps, you know, mouth flaps like anime, you know. And they're like, it's Bowserese though. So everything is just garbly gook. I don't know. So I'll fit right in if I get myself any anime work. I'll fit right in.
He wants to do some anime and he wants to call it Kename.
Kename.
Yeah, what do y'all think?
There you go.
I mean, yeah?
I'd watch it.
Kename. He's even willing to move to Dallas.
I'm going to move to Dallas. I'm going to live next door to some
We can say
famous
we knew him before he did that, so that's good. Cool.
Thanks, man.
Hi, Peach.
Hi.
Huh?
Have you or would you ever cosplay as your corresponding characters?
One more time?
One more time, sorry.
Have you or would you ever cosplay as your corresponding characters?
Ooh, I would.
I would love to too.
There's a guy that I've met. They're building a suit, Bowser's suit, and it's gigantic. Apparently, you can't even put your arms all the way to the end of where the claws are. So that's mechanical. It's all electromechanical. I think they're going to have it so that he can like blow smoke or something. And the feet are gigantic. They're cooling fans all over the inside of this thing. But I haven't seen it yet. They were trying to get it finished before I went to Alabama last year. And he came up to the table. He's like, "We didn't get the suit done. It's not good enough yet." He goes, "So we want to make sure it's reliable before we bring it out." But I would put that thing on and stomp around in cons. You know, nobody would know who I am. I'm like, you know, it would be great. Yeah, I would do it in a second.
I have a question for you, because this is only my second con. Would that be weird? You know, like, I don't know what's appropriate. Like, if I did ever do Princess Peach, would that be strange, or is that cool?
That would be
It
cool.
would be cool?
It would be cool.
Because
fun
everyone
thing
does it
about
so well.
cons-
It's like, I don't know if I could achieve what you're achieving right there. Like, that's so cute. But I would love to try. Oh my gosh, I would be all over it.
Yeah, the best thing about cons is that you can dress up and you can cosplay and everybody will support you. And it's not weird.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you, Peach.
I know it may sound really weird, but my wife has a Princess Peach costume.
She does.
Went to a party for her work, and they wanted people to dress as superheroes and stuff, and I was like, I ain't doing superheroes. So, and I don't really do costumes much, so I went with a shirt that said, "This is my Bowser costume." It has a big Bowser on the front of it, and she went as Peach.
Is she?
So,
Can I see?
I'm trying to find it.
Okay, he's gonna find it.
While
All right.
he finds
Yes,
it.
5 minutes. So yes. Hi.
Oh, hi. It's really great to meet all of you. So my question is, what do you imagine Bowser and Peach doing in their day-to-day lives if they were in the real world? You know, real-life characters. And, you know, do you take any real-life takeaways from the games or from their characters?
Now for me, a big takeaway that I have from Peach is I just think that she is happy. You know, like she's happy all the time for the most part. Even when she's a little scared, she's happy. And so that's something that I've tried to carry into my real life and just live like that. And there's a certain innocence to her that I really love as well. And so that's something that I like to have in my world. And then for day-to-day life, what do I think they would do? I don't know. I mean, I think the whole dodging shells thing, and you know, I mean, sometimes I'm in traffic. You know, do you ever, after you play, then you get on the road and you're like, okay, remember, you're not in the game. You are not in the game. You do.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. So
Don't-
anyway.
I try not to take anything from Bowser into the real world because.
And this is a good thing, friends.
You could ask my son and my stepkids. They probably would be all like, "Oh no, he's Bowser-y, all right," because I can bellow. But I don't take anything from Bowser into the real world. That would make me a complete jerk, wouldn't it?
Thank you very much. Hi.
Hello. Can you hear me? All right, so there seem to be a lot of different interpretations of the characters in the different games. Like Bowser, for instance, in the Paper Mario series, he's like kind of goofy, but in the Mario and Luigi, he's like really cocky. And then the 3D games, he can be really domineering. Is there any game that you feel captures your character better than the others, or just like is your favorite interpretation of the character?
I don't know. I'm an Odyssey fan. I mean, I like Peach in Odyssey, even though you can't play her. I like it.
Yeah, I'm searching my memory right now. I'm going, which one really struck me in that manner?
Super Bowser.
Yeah. It was probably back as far as Galaxy. So, I dug him in Galaxy because he had his little worlds and he crushed things, and that's what I like.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
All right.
Hi, it was so nice to see you guys. I was just curious if you guys played any of the Super Smash Brothers games, and if so, who do you main?
I'm not a Smash person myself. I played the first one, but I haven't really played since. I've never been a big fighting game kind of guy, even as far back as, the original PlayStation and all that. I was never a big fighter game. I was always either racing or flying things. I'm big on flying. Love to fly. Love airplanes. I want to have one.
I played Smash Brothers Brawl badly, but I had fun, and I would just try different characters.
Yeah, I was very bad.
Jigglypuff. You be quiet. Jigglypuff. I like Jigglypuff. Leave me alone. All right.
Thank you guys.
Thanks.
All right, and our last question.
Yay.
Yeah.
Hi.
Oh, hello. This one's for Mr. James. Other than the Mario Brothers, do you know anyone that can be also considered as Bowser's rival?
What was the last part?
Rival?
Like, who would Bowser consider a rival other than the Mario Brothers?
Oh, geez. He's so twisted in his poor little turtle brain that he probably considers everybody to be an enemy. It's except for Bowser Jr. And then only when he takes him off. But enemies besides the Mario Brothers, no, I can't think of it because all I'm going to do is just turn everybody into what I want to turn them into anyway, and they're all going to work for me.
Okay.
That's all I got.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, and that is all the time we have. So
is it really already?
Already.
It
You
is.
guys are awesome. Thank you so much.
Give it up for Samantha
questions.
Kelly
Yeah.
and Kenny James.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, and tell us where we can find you online.
I am
do you have a
nowhere
Twitter?
online.
Nowhere online.
Yeah, you'll find him everywhere.
We'll find Kenny online.
Yeah, my Instagram is Kenny James Bowser. I'm on Facebook, it's just Kenny James. I'm in Twitter is Kenny James Voice. If you search for me, you can find me. There's several celebrity Kenny Jameses out there, but I'm the only one that's Bowser. So
With the long, gorgeous hair. Aren't you?
yeah, it's getting longer.
It's getting longer.
Nice.
Yeah, thanks.
I used to have really long hair. Now.
Yeah. Thank you so
All right,
much,
thank you.
Jamal. Thank you, guys.
Give him a
Appreciate
round of
you guys.
applause.
Yay.
This was lots of fun. You guys are killer. Go out there, stay hydrated, and don't get run over by the crowd.
Be safe. Make good choices.